There are 3 reasons why I am pro LDR in our 20s. Hi, my name is Kristin. I am 27 years old and I have been in a long distance relationship now for almost 4 years. It has taught me so much, and I thought that this would be a fun video where I could sit down, share with you guys my thoughts on why I like being in a long distance relationship. Majority of the time, let me please preface that, because do I wish I could see my partner more in a year? Of course, but I think that it has taught me a lot about who I am as a person, and maybe this would also help you if you are in a limbo moment of being unsure, if you want to be in a long distance relationship, if you have been reluctant in the past. This video is just me chatting, yapping, sharing my thoughts, so I hope this is of interest to you. I also want to preface this video by saying all relationships are so different. I have had a couple of long distance and medium distance relationships in the past, definitely taught me a lot. Please take my experience with a grain of salt and this whole video. Let's go ahead and get started. So reason number 1 is independence. I feel like this is the time of our life where we're really able to make use of our time to become the best and successful versions of ourselves. If you are a woman and you want to get married and you want to have children, I have learned, and I feel like from society's patterns in the past, a lot of the times women get married and start having kids in the 3rd decade. Our eggs are also slowing down. We're not able to be fertile for that long after that. And so if you are on the path of wanting to have kids and get married soon, I do think that it is important that we develop the best versions of ourselves today in order to then become the best mom, best wife. And I think with a long distance relationship, it's really taught me a lot about how I should spend my time. I have a 9 to 5 job, so I will wake up in the morning, I will do some sort of workout, get a little bit of movement in, start my day, and head to work. A lot of the times when I'm on my way to work, I will be calling my partner, giving each other a quick recap, asking how we slept, how we're doing, what are our plans for the day. And then throughout work, him and I will text periodically, checking in on each other. And at the end of my 9 to 5, I'll come home and spend quality family time, or maybe it's a weekday evening where I'm hanging out with friends and we won't talk until I'm about to go to bed. Daily routine where we will at least FaceTime, even if it's just for 5 minutes, because we have set this routine that makes most sense for our relationship, where we're able to give each other that quality time, and for the rest of the day, we're doing things that are benefiting ourselves. I'm focused on working for my 9 to 5 job. I'm focused on being a colleague. I'm focused on being a family member, a friend, anyone that is around me. I want to be a good peer. But for the remaining periods throughout the day, I want to make sure I'm carving enough time to check in on my partner and make sure that I'm able to be a good listener, and I'm excited to also share the things that happen throughout the day too. So it's really, really interesting to see how I have become independent, because we do share such a strong bond, even though we're not with each other 24/7. But both my partner and I are trying our best to work really hard in the present moment to be able to have a great future outcome. And so even though we are not living with each other at the moment, that is obviously the hope in the future. And so we are latching on to that piece of hope, and in the meantime, getting our ducks in a row separately, with also supporting each other through phone calls, through texts, etc., etc. Another thing to note: does the cycle suck of counting down the days until I see my partner again? Yes, but does it get better? Also, yes. So I do also want to highlight that there are moments where we will see each other and we kind of get our system going. Sometimes we'll see each other for a couple days, just like a weekend. Sometimes we'll see each other for a week, and sometimes it's been longer than that. Especially for the times where we'll be with each other longer than like a week or so, we feel like we get our system down, because humans are creatures of habit, and after just a few days, the routine feels like it can be concrete and guaranteed. But the moment that they step out, the moment that I'm not with my partner anymore, there's just a moment of influx where I am confused. I feel emotionally separated. My mental also just feels a little vulnerable and sensitive, because I have to revert back to my normal ways of treading along on a day-to-day. And so, yeah, it's an obvious cycle that is not ideal, to have to experience. But for him and I, we see each other on a monthly basis and we always know when we'll see each other next. So that is something that really helps us. The next reason is quality over quantity. The moments I get to be with my partner, I really, and I mean really, soak in all the time that I can with him. I wrote that the majority of the days in the year, I'm spending time working on myself, investing in my other loved ones and friends. So those days he comes for a weekend or I fly to see him for just a few days, I am intentional about being in the present and tuning out the extra noise. Again, it would be ideal if I were to be able to spend time with my partner on a daily basis. But at the same time, like I said, in our 20s, for those that are living in close proximity with their partners, some of my friends that I know, they don't see their partner until the end of the week because they are focused on themselves too. In a way, for me, it's like, I wish I got that option. I wish I was able to be like, oh yeah, he's here, he's around, but I won't see him until the end of the week. But like, that's not the case for us. And so anytime that I'm not with him, as I mentioned earlier, I am really, really putting all my time and energy on myself and the people that are here for me now, like physically, whether that's also catching up with a friend over the phone. I just start to think of other people that aren't just my boyfriend that I really value in my life. My two sisters that are older than me also live in New York. So I feel like I'm kind of used to the long distance bonds that I share and how I do not want to take them for granted and I want to show up for them as much as I can. And so maybe it's just something natural within me where I don't want my bond with them to feel like it's been days apart since I've last chatted. And it also helps that my sisters and I are really close too. So it is a two-way street where they will also check in on me. But anyways, I do digress. I just think that because I do pour in a lot of my time on a day-to-day with my other obligations whenever I get to see my partner, it feels so nice to put my phone down. It feels so nice to not have to do my work because I try to be intentional the days leading up to seeing my partner where I will make sure that I got majority of my work done so that I don't need to touch anything while I am spending my days with him because I want to be really, really present and not take that time with him for granted either. And so am I like silent and it takes a couple days to respond to my friends? Yeah. That's sometimes the case. And something that I love about my friends is that they are also super understanding of my circumstances. And so whenever he is here or whenever I'm with him, there's kind of an understanding that the loved ones around me know that I want to cherish that time with him. It's been a good rotation, a good cycle that has been pretty consistent. And because we are approaching 4 years, it also helps that majority of the loved ones in my life have met him and are also very supportive and rooting for our relationship. And so, yeah. I think that quality over quantity should always apply no matter what relationship you are in, if that's long distance or in person. Yeah, that is my second reason. I think that being in a long distance relationship teaches you a lot about what quality time means over quantity. The third reason is that the 5 love languages, they can exist when you're in an in-person relationship, but I believe that long distance relationships rely only on a few. So love languages, if you know the 5, they are quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and gift giving. Of these 5, I would say in a long distance relationship, you are able to count on quality time, words of affirmation, gift giving, and acts of service. The one that you can't rely on is physical touch. I'm so grateful that we live in this day and age where we're able to physically see our partner through the phone. I don't know what it would be like if I was calling my partner every day and I wouldn't be able to see them for months worth. And I know that my parents' age, that was a very common thing. And so I feel like I can't really complain about how accessible being in a long distance relationship is. But I would say that because physical touch is lacking, you kind of have to shift your focus in the other 4 love languages. And I would say that the main one that my partner and I work on the most is words of affirmation and verbalizing our feelings and verbalizing anything that comes to mind. Him and I have created a foundation where we are very open about our feelings. Our conflict style has become compatible after almost 4 years. I'm happy to say that we are able to talk about a lot of the things that are going on in our minds, whether that's good or bad things sometimes. I think very early on in our long distance relationship, we learned our communication styles very quickly as well. So it is interesting because it benefits and also teaches you about how you yourself like to solve conflicts. And if you also like to solve conflicts with that person, I've learned in the past relationships that I want to make sure that I am solving conflicts with my partner well. And I think in my current relationship, we were able to speak our truth very, very easily and very early on. That throughout the years, even though there have been good conversations, tougher conversations, we're able to always tie our conversation up with feeling like we still understand each other and that we still love each other. Compromising our love languages is also something that I think takes a lot of work in a long distance relationship, but I am very happy and I'm very grateful that we have been able to express that we want to appeal one another in our love languages. And of course, we're not perfect every day. We struggle, and there are moments when I will have to voice and say, hey, like, I want you to tell me this, or I wish you could rephrase the statement you just said in this way instead. It really makes me, and I feel like my relationship has taught me to let my ego aside, tell my partner what it is that I really want to hear or what it is that I really need in that moment, even though I think it's a very common thing where girls are like, oh, you know, they should just be able to read my mind. Quite frankly, like, I feel like girls' minds are really hard to read sometimes, and especially for men, I feel like it's really hard for men to get it right away because, you know, there's that whole statement like, you don't know when you don't know. I think that my relationship and also it being long distance, it has allowed me and has taught me that it's okay to tell my partner what it is that I exactly need to hear or need from him in that moment. And the outcome does always end up being positive too. The partner that you choose every single day is a reminder of your resilience and your partner's resilience of not wanting to give something up that is enhancing both of your lives. And I think that that's another thing that you should ask yourself. If your partner is enhancing your life, if they are adding value and support, or if the emotions are negative and not really leading into a positive direction. I know I had just yapped a lot about reasons why I am pro long distance relationship. It is approaching 9:30 now, and I will say I am tired and my eyes are getting heavy. I usually go to bed around like 10 or 10:30 lately. My niece has been staying at home with my family for the past week, and she'll be here for another 2 weeks, and it has been so much fun being an aunt, but she does wipe me out because taking care of a 19-month-old child before your 9 to 5 and after your 9 to 5 really sucks the energy out of you. So I am going to sleep like a good baby tonight. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. I really do love the topic of relationships because relationships are just very complex. There are so many different seasons in your life, the type of person that you are today versus the person that you were yesterday or tomorrow, that are just completely different. We are changing every single day. And so I think that it's fun to be able to make a video like this because I love talking about relationships and I also love sharing bits and pieces of mine. So I hope that this video opened up your eyes in some ways. Maybe it taught you something. Open to hearing what you guys have to say down below. You are so loved. You deserve so much love, and I hope you treat your body, your mind, and your soul with kindness. I'm gonna head out now. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up on the way out, and I will see you guys in the next video.